Hi, this is the Sudden Death Checklist podcast number 5. I'm Jason Holman. I'm here today with Jack Veale. Jack has over 30 years advising closely held family owned businesses with ownership and management succession issues. Welcome to the podcast, Jack.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you all for attending this far of the program. We're now going to be covering the business side of the of this checklist, and the company checklist can be found on Chapter 7, covering before, during, and after the funeral. One of the important things you're going to get out of all this is that the number one thing any business owner should be doing today is grooming the successor so that you have a company to sell, the family can sell, and somebody who'll want to buy it. Employees will be mourning the loss of someone special, and so there's going to be times you're going to need to deal with that. The next few slides of our checklist will help you as the executor or trustee navigate through the typical challenges of a business succession. And by the way, not only you could be the executor or trustee, you could also be the business owner. Before death, there are things the company should do, and you as the executive trustee should have make sure there's a phone tree for key managers and advisors, because they're going to help you navigate through the ownership process while you're managing the estate and the administration of the trust. And the thing that's important is you need to address your customers and vendors. And there are partners. What are you going to do about your partners and shareholders? Is there an ESOP involved? Who are the company directors? And the reason why you ask that is because they're the ones that pick the successor. And you want to know if the minutes are up to date, because if they're not, you could run into problems. Are there banking covenants? Because in some cases, a banking covenant will say they can foreclose on the loan if it's a change of ownership. And where are the list of insurance policies for health, life, death, and disability, and key man? What is the company's succession plan? You should have a trial run that says this is what we should do with the above information. What should your spouse and family do with the business? That question is going to come up time and time again. And just so you know, that's the critical part. The post-funeral company checklist portion is that who's going to clean out the closets, the desk, the personal items. There are banking issues, emails, software, and social media. Those things are going to continue on. There are going to be deposits. There's going to be checks written. All this stuff has to be managed. Decision on the surviving spouse or family running the business. Who's going to run this business? Typically, it's not the spouse because they have their own career. Are there any buy-sell agreements with partners and family? Executors, if you're going to, and the other part is you got to have a communication plan for employees, customers, vendors, and outside stakeholders, such as newspapers, key influential people, and associations. This is the time where the community needs to be aware that the company isn't going under, and that the family is going to make sure that every customer and vendor are taken care of. A question you should ask if you're a trustee or executor: is the company involved in any litigation or lawsuits? The post-funeral company's checklist has to do with the plan of incentivizing and retaining key managers. Are there any employment agreements to help retain key managers? Because if you lose a key manager, they're now going to be your competition. And is there concern for key managers will leave shortly thereafter? What will the role be of the board during this transition? Because they're the ones that pick the CEO. Do the bylaws need to be updated? Are the family members working in but not leading the company? Are tax filings in order? Are payroll taxes paid up in full? Very good questions that you should know if you become trustee and executor. Business owner's disposition of the company is really important, and you'll find that on Chapter 7, page 12. In podcast 6, we're going to cover the veterans checklist. Jason?
Yes, I'm looking forward to the Veterans Checklist podcast because that's important. We need to take care of our veterans. And in this next podcast, we're going to look at how do you request copies of your military separation documents, such as your DD 214 and using Form SF 180, how to apply for burial benefits. If you wish to be buried in a national cemetery after your passing, you need to apply now for pre-need burial eligibility. What about the survivor benefit plan? You need to document your spouses and your marital histories. You need to have the information so that if your spouse applies for VA benefits after your passing, those benefits will go to them. What about healthcare coverage? Using TRICARE for active duty members and dependents. All of these questions we'll go over in podcast number 6. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Take care.